This class this morning is a little bit about your core. So we're going to start from the belly and we'll move from there outwards to really warm up the entire body. No props are required, but if you want to use a block or a blanket to sit on or to support your hands as we move, please feel free to do so. I will indicate options for that as well. I have my blocks over here, so I may be using them, but you don't have to. Go ahead and come to a comfortable seated position. And as you come to a comfortable seated position, I'm facing the long edge of the mat just so that I'm facing you for this first point, but you can be sitting up at the front of your mat, facing the long edge of your mat, because we're going to move a little bit forward and a little bit back, so I'll kind of rotate a little bit as we go. Go ahead and find both of your sits bones underneath you. It's a nice place to sit on a blanket if you need, or a block. We'll just have to remove it in a moment. If it feels good, you can close your eyes. You can simply soften your gaze to the floor. Take a deep breath in and a big sigh out your mouth. Now bring one hand onto your belly and one hand onto your heart. As you inhale again, push the abdominal wall out against your hand. So you're expanding your belly into your hand. Expand your heart likewise into your hand and grow tall through the crown of your head. And then as you exhale, you can apply some light pressure hand to belly, a little press of the hand to the chest, bringing those muscular walls back towards the center line. Inhale, fill the belly, fill the heart. Exhale, gently draw the muscles inwards. Let go of the breath. 3 more breaths here in this pattern. Your own pace. As you complete that 3rd breath, you can release your hands down onto your legs somewhere. Relax your shoulders and bring your gaze forward. As you inhale again, shrug your shoulders back, bring the center of your chest a little bit forward for cow pose. You can look up if that feels nice. And as you exhale, round your shoulders, pull your belly a little bit back. Seated cat pose. Inhaling to come forward. And exhaling to come back. And just do 3 more like that. You're again your own pace. If one spot feels good, why not linger there for an extra moment? Why not enjoy? With this next one, the inhale is going to stay the same. You're going to roll forward, roll the shoulders back. And then as you exhale, lean back. Go ahead and gather your knees. If you're sitting up on a block, you'll want to move it out of the way. If you're on a blanket, you could potentially stay. You want to place the tips of your toes on the floor. Lift the center of your chest like a little tiny baby boat pose. I'm just going to turn to the side so you can see sideways, and so I have a little more space. And the tips of your toes are on the floor, and you're just leaning back a little bit. You just feel your abdominals activate, and again, fill your belly with breath. Fill your chest with breath as you breathe in. And then as you breathe out, you're going to roll all the way down towards the floor. You can bring your knees with you if that's comfortable. Give them a little hug in towards your chest. Give yourself a little rock from side to side. And then go ahead and stack your knees above your hips. Bring your hands behind your thighs or your hands onto the floor. See what works. You can give yourself a little bit of momentum. You're going to see if you can roll back up from this position. If you need to help yourself out, please do. If you want to kick the feet away from you, roll the back of the head up and see if you can come back to seated. Maybe you hold behind your thighs. Maybe it's a little wobbly this morning. This is your inhale. And as you exhale, you see if you can roll back towards the floor, drawing the knees into the chest. And maybe you repeat this a few times, inhaling to roll up. Exhaling to roll down, or you can do just one and hang out in Apanasana for a few breaths. As you do this, keep your belly button pulled inwards. Keep that abdominal wall, all of those muscles at the front of your body Pull gently inwards to support you. This is going to be your last one, and you're going to come all the way back down to the floor. Knees come back in towards the chest. And then turn the soles of your feet up. Maybe holding onto the feet, the thighs, the ankles, or the calves, rocking for happy baby a little bit. And then bringing the knees in. Here you're going to come into a twist, taking your knees over to the right. Any adjustments that are needed, you could always stack a block between the knees, extend or bend the legs as you see fit. A little more is to extend your left arm and look over to your left shoulder. As you inhale, you're going to bring your knees back to center. And as you exhale, go the other way. Again, adjust. This should just feel good at this point. Stretchy for your hips and your belly. Maybe you look out over those right fingertips if that feels nice. Inhale back to the center line. Catch behind your thighs. Kick through the soles of your feet. Roll yourself up to that boat pose. And here you're just going to hover. You can hover with your feet up or you can hover with your toes down. See what feels right for you today. Again, inhale. Fill up your belly with breath. Fill up your chest with breath. If you feel a little frisky, you can kick through your heels and extend your arms out to the side. Take another deep breath in here. And then as you exhale, you're going to place the soles of your feet on the floor. Cross your legs again. Maybe think about crossing the other way, the weird way. And then as you inhale, come forward into that cow pose. As you exhale, roll back through your cat pose. 3 more like that. Seated cow. Seated cat. Maybe you want to add some arms, reaching forward, inhale, and then pulling back, exhale. Last one. The inhale stays the same. You reach forward. As you exhale, pull everything back. Bring your abdominal wall back towards your spine. Lift your knees in. The soles of the feet go on the floor. You can keep your fists or you can hold behind your thighs. Lean a little back so the abdominals activate. Lift the belly. Lift the chest. Inhale here, and as you exhale, roll one more time down to the floor. Bring your knees in towards your chest. Rock a little side to side. And this side is just a little bit different, or this set is a little bit different. So you'll again stack your knees above your hips. Flex your feet so that it's as if you were standing on the wall over there in front of you. And then place your hands onto your thighs. And you want to really firmly press your hands into your thighs and press your lower back, your belly button down towards the floor. Inhale here, and then as you exhale, curl your head away from the mat if that feels okay in your neck. And we're just going to hold here, pressing into the thighs, thighs into the hands, belly to the floor. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let go, draw the knees into the chest. Take a little break. We're just going to repeat that twice more. And it's not a lot of movement, but it's a lot of effort happening. Stacking the knees above the hips. Hands really firmly pressed to the thighs, thighs to the hands. The whole arm and the whole leg is active. This is your inhale. As you exhale, lift up and hold. 5, belly button to the floor. 3, 2, 1. Let it go. Take a little break. Maybe rock a little bit to release your lower back. If you have one more in you, you can join me stacking the knees above the hips, hands onto the thighs. Inhale. And as you exhale, maybe a lift of the head. That's optional. Press the hands to the thighs, thighs to the hands, belly to the floor. 3, 2, and 1. Let it all go. Maybe turn the soles of your feet up. Go back to that happy baby. Hopefully now you feel like the center of your body, the area ring around your belly button feels a little bit warm, and we're going to move from there. And here, you could decide to rock yourself all the way over to one side and use your hands to press yourself to seated. If you feel a little frisky or it felt good, you can bring the hands back behind the thighs, kick yourself back up into that boat pose. Maybe hold here for a breath, lift the chest, lift the belly. And then crossing your feet, roll forward, hands to the floor. Maybe you can walk yourself back and bring your knees to the floor for table, or however that ends up working out for you this morning. We're going to come onto hands and knees. If you need a cushion underneath your knees, please don't hesitate to grab one. Spread your fingers nice and wide, shrug your shoulders back, and we'll keep moving in that cow and cat shape. Inhale, soften your belly, roll your shoulders back. Exhale, lift your belly, tuck your tail and your gaze. And see if you can find this movement coming from the area around your belly button, from the very core, the very center of your body. You lift your belly button up to come into your cat pose. And you relax your belly button down to come into your cow pose. A few more at your own pace. One more cow. And one more cat. Inhale, come back to neutral. You could decide to stay here in your table pose. If you like to do that, you could tuck one set of toes under, reach the foot to the back of the mat, and just gently rock a little forward and back, starting to stretch the arch of your foot, your Achilles tendon, and your calf. You can alternate sides there if you like. If you want all ready to come to downward facing dog, you can tuck both sets of toes under in your table and lift your knees coming into that downward facing dog. Maybe here stretching the feet by pedaling one heel to the floor and then the other. Just moving a little bit. Starting to see what feels good in the body this morning. And take another deep breath. And from here, walk or step your feet towards the front of the mat. You're coming towards a forward fold. And as you come towards that forward fold, set your feet a comfortable distance apart. This is another place where you are more than welcome to add a block or two underneath your hands. You can rest your forearms on your thighs, or you can dangle towards the floor, just wherever you are, a little bit of softness in your knees. So it's like you're draping the belly over the thighs. The head is heavy. You can even lace the hands into the opposite elbow to get that extra little bit of tug on the spine. And feel free to nod or shake your head. We're going to move a little bit side to side. And take another deep breath here. Bring your fingertips to the floor or your hands onto a block. Your preference, lift up halfway, reach the crown of your head forward as you inhale. And here we're going to take this into a little bit of a twist. And imagine as you twist that you're twisting right from the center of your belly button. So place your left hand down in front of your left foot. You can place your hand to the floor block, bring your right hand to your right hip. With the knees a little bit soft, reach the crown of your head forward as you inhale. As you exhale, bend deeply into the left knee as you twist to your right. And your right knee might like to be bent, or your right leg might like to straighten a little bit. Shrug your shoulders back, pull your belly button in, and find the twist coming from that center part of your body. Everything else is just kind of moving outwards. The twist comes from the belly button. Then maybe you feel the twist in the hips, the twist in the shoulders. You could add an arm up to the sky. Inhale here. And as you exhale, you fold back towards the floor. Your right hand plants down. You can go all the way to the floor. You can go to a block or block-like object at any height. Soften the knees, reach the crown of the head forward. And then deeply bending into the right knee. Left knee is option to go straight. It could stay bent. Arm could come to the sky if that feels comfortable. Shrug your shoulders back. Belly button towards the spine. This is your inhale. Your exhale is to fold one more time back towards the floor. Inhale, pick up a bit of a halfway lift, maybe hands onto the shins or the thighs. Exhale to soften forward. As you inhale, you're going to ragdoll up to the sky. So soft knees, press into the heels of your feet. Roll one vertebrae at a time. You can walk your hands on your thighs to support your back if you like. When you reach standing, roll your shoulders back. As you breathe in, bring your arms up over your head. And as you breathe out, bring your hands down in front of your heart. As your hands arrive in front of your heart, again, one hand on the belly, doesn't matter which one hand on the heart. Inhale, feel the belly expanding, feel the heart expanding, feel the shoulders drawing back and down. Exhale, pull the belly wall back, relax the chest, relax the shoulders. 2 more breaths like that. Inhale, expand the belly, the heart, the shoulder blade. Exhale to soften. At your own pace, this last one. Your next inhale, as you are ready, bring your arms up over your head. As you exhale, fold forward, hands go to the side or down through the heart like mine are. Inhale, find halfway lift. As you exhale, you're going to fold forward, plant your hands down to the floor. You might have to bend your knees quite deeply, and you're going to step back to a table or to a downward facing dog. Inhale here. And then as you exhale, lower your knees to the floor. You're coming back to your table pose. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Inhale, find your cow pose. Exhale, find your cat pose. As you inhale, you're going to reach the crown of your head forward, reach your right leg behind you, and then as you exhale, take your right knee towards your right elbow. Inhale, bring your right leg behind you. Exhale, right knee to right elbow. We're just going to do 3 more like that. As you do this, think about drawing your left hip, your stabilizing hip in towards the center line. So there's work in both sides of the body. Starting out and move a little outwards from the belly button down to the hips. Now reach your leg out behind you again as you inhale. And as you exhale, you're going to take that right foot up between your hands. You may have to move around. You might have to stack your hands up to get there. But you want your front knee to be more or less over your front ankle, fingertips to floor, or hands to blocks here, whatever feels nice. If you haven't already, tuck your back toe under. Inhale, shrug your shoulders back, lift your belly a little bit. See if you can lift your back knee away from the floor. Shrug your shoulders back here. Inhale again. And then as you exhale, lower your left knee to the floor. Inhale, see if you can lift up. Exhale to lower. Again, just 3 more. Tuck the right hip in. See if you can find the stability there. So it's all about the back leg. The front leg is just stabilizing. It's not moving too much. Last one. You're going to place the left knee on the floor. You can untuck the toes or grab a cushion. You could stay low and simply work to reach the crown of your head forward. Or you could come up a little higher, hands to thigh, hands to hips, or arms even up into the sky. If it feels good, you can lean a little forward now with the hips a little back, with the shoulders stretching the center of the body, stretching the core. This is your breath in. And as you breathe out, you're going to fold forward, plant your hands, and take your right knee back next to your left knee. Set yourself up in that table pose. Inhale, cow. And exhale, cat. Inhale, reach the crown of the head forward, reach the left leg back behind you. Exhale, bring your left knee towards your left elbow. Inhale, bring the leg behind you. Exhale, knee towards the elbow. It's just as close to the elbow as you can get, where you start to feel a little bit of work. 3 more. Hugging the right hip in, hugging the belly button in. So this abdominal wall is working this whole time, even as we're taking the work down towards the hips. Reach the left leg behind you as you inhale. And then as you exhale, you see if you can bring that foot up between the hands, stacking the left knee above the left ankle. Fingertips to the floor, hands to blocks, very handy here if the floor feels far away. Tuck your back toe under if it's not already there. As you inhale, lift up. Press back through the heel. Reach the crown of the head forward. This is your inhale position. And then as you exhale, you just work to lower that right knee to the floor. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. 3 more, if you can. Range of motion is up to you. If your knee doesn't go all the way to the floor, that's fine. Or sometimes it doesn't come all the way up, that's also fine. Last one, you're going to drop that knee down to the mat. You can untuck the toes for comfort. You can again stay right here, just reaching the crown of the head forward. Or you can lift up, hands to thigh, hands to hips, arms all the way up to the sky. Feel free to lean forward and maximize that stretch on the right front side of the body if you like. Even pulling your arms back towards your ears. Inhale here. And as you exhale, fold forward. Plant your hands, take your left knee back next to your right knee. Inhale, find your cow pose. Exhale, find your cat. Inhale, find neutral spine. Walk your hands a little further in front of your shoulders. Take your shoulders over your wrists. Low plank position, or if you like, you can tuck your toes and lift your knees. As you exhale, lower all the way to the floor. Inhale, shrug your shoulders back, untuck your toes, pick up your cobra pose, any height that feels good to your body. Linger here for a breath as you relax your shoulders away from your ears. Inhale at the top. Exhale to release. Tuck your toes under. Come back, table or downward facing dog, your choice. Feel free to move around. You have 4 or 5 breaths here. There's also an opportunity if you like to take child's pose or just lie on your belly, feeling your breath. What does your body need this morning? Does it need a little bit of extra fire or that downward dog? It doesn't need a little extra quiet, that child's pose or belly lie. When you're ready, walk or step your feet back up towards the front of the mat to find your forward fold. Feel free to grab some props for underneath your hands. Inhale, find halfway lift. The spine is more or less parallel to the floor. The crown of the head reaches forward. Exhale to soften. Inhale. One smooth breath if you can. This time takes you all the way up to the sky. You can reach your arms out and up, or you can let your arms be heavy. Exhale, hands in front of the heart. As they arrive there, leave one hand at the heart, bring the other hand to the belly. One deep breath. Inhale, fill the belly, fill the chest, fill the shoulders. Exhale, let it all go. Inhale, arms come all the way up over your head. Exhale to fold all the way forward. Inhale, find your halfway lift. Lift your belly up a little bit here as you reach the crown of your head forward, so you're using all of this strength in your back muscles as well. Exhale to fold forward, plant your hands under your shoulders. Step or hop or walk back, table or downward facing dog, your choice. Inhale in your table or your downward facing dog. And then as you exhale, make your way forward to plank. You can come low, walking the hands forward, or pull the shoulders over the wrists high. Exhale, lower all the way to the floor. You could take cobra again, or you can untuck your toes or roll over them and take upward facing dog. And then exhale, we'll meet in table or downward facing dog. As you inhale, float your right foot to the sky. As you exhale, step your right foot behind your right hand at the front of the mat. Rotate on the balls of your left toes and set your left heel down. 2 different train tracks for the right heel and the left heel, a little bit of space. And then when you're ready, inhale to come up, warrior one. Take a moment, adjust so that your hips can face the front of the mat. You can always take your right foot further to the right. This is your inhale, lift up through the crown of your head, through your fingertips. As you exhale, hinge from your hip crease, fold forward, bring your arms back behind you, lightning warrior. Inhale to lift, exhale to fold. A few more like this. If you need a little more, as you hinge forward, you can always lift your left heel, your back heel, increasing the load on that front leg. Three more like this. Again, as usual, feel free to hang out in either position if it feels right. You could spend the whole time in warrior one, or half the time in lightning warrior, half the time in warrior one. If you're moving, this is your last set. You're gonna come all the way back up to your warrior one, lift through your fingertips. And then as you exhale, fold all the way forward. This time, plant your hands under your shoulders, turn your back foot straight forward and back. And step back, downward facing dog or table. Inhale here. And as you exhale, drop your knees to the floor. Make sure your hands are under your shoulders, your fingers are wide. This next one is a little active again. We're gonna keep working into the hips. Shrug your shoulders back, lift your belly. As you inhale, you're gonna lift your right knee out to the side with your right knee bent, like peeing on the fire hydrant. Exhale, lower back down. Inhale to lift, exhale to lower. And just like the knee to the elbow the whole time, you're hugging the left hip in, you're hugging the belly in. You have one more like this. And then you're gonna bring that right knee to the floor. Reach the crown of the head forward, lift the belly, and we'll go over to the left. Left knee lifts out, inhale, and comes in, exhale. Hugging the right hip in, hugging the belly in, so that your whole body is working to be as stable as possible. You can probably see I'm shaking a little bit. I did this already this morning. It was feeling quite challenging. One more. Lifting and lowering. And then here, untuck your toes. Take your knees a little wider than your hips and pull back to child's pose, reaching your fingertips forward. If child's pose doesn't feel quite right, feel free to lie flat on your belly. And just take a few deep breaths. Maybe you can hear your breath. Maybe you can feel your breath moving through your belly. As you're ready, you're going to come back to your table pose. Hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. You could stay here, or you can tuck your toes and come to your downward facing dog. Wherever you decide, take a deep breath, get comfortable. And then with your inhale, left foot floats up. Exhale, left knee goes behind the left hand. Right foot comes to the floor, 45-ish degree angle. If you feel like you want more space, you can always take your left foot further left for those big train tracks. Inhale, lift up, warrior one. Take a moment, adjust things. Make sure this feels comfortable and strong and stable. This is your inhale. As you exhale, you sweep the arms back, you hinge at the hips, and you fold into that lightning warrior. Inhale, lift, and exhale, lower. And again, you move at the pace of your own breath. You move at the pace that your body dictates. You can be flowing the whole time. You could be starting to lift that back heel to increase the work if you want. Or you could be holding a position for a few extra breaths. Customize. Make this your own. It's not the same every single day. It's not the same every week. All depends on whatever has been happening with you. Whatever's been happening with your body. One more deep breath. You'll end up in your warrior one. Reach your fingertips firmly towards the ceiling. And then exhale to fold. Plant your hands under your shoulders. Back foot turns straight forward and back. Step back. Table or downward facing dog. You could hang out in either of these poses. You could hang out in child's pose or on your belly, or you can join me in a half vinyasa, inhaling to plank. Exhaling, high or low to the floor. You could pick up cobra or upward dog or elbows on the floor. You could pick up sphinx here if you like. We'll all meet in the next breath or two in table or in downward facing dog. From your table, from your downward facing dog, you're going to walk or step or hop if you feel frisky up to the front of the mat, finding your forward fold again as you exhale. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. As you inhale, roll yourself to the sky. Feel free to walk your hands on your legs for support. Exhale, hands come in front of the heart. Leave one of them there, bring the other one to the belly. 3 nice deep breaths here. Feel the movement of your breath. Enjoy perhaps a little bit of heat in your body. And with your next breath, as you're ready, you're going to bring your arms up over your head as you inhale. And as you exhale, you fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. As you exhale, plant your hands down. You could walk, you could step, or you could hop back to table or to downward facing dog. Your choice. From your dog or from your table, you're going to come forward into that plank position, low or high. This is your inhale. As you exhale, you lower all the way to the floor. Pick up cobra or sphinx or upward facing dog, your choice. Exhale to release, make your way back, table or downward facing dog, your choice. You can see what feels just right. You can alternate throughout the practice. As you're ready, inhale, lift your right leg behind you. As you exhale again, the right foot comes behind the right hand. The back knee is lifted and you set that back heel down at that 45-ish degree angle. Inhale, come up, warrior one. Take a moment, get set up. fingertips reach towards the sky. Hips are squarish towards the front of the mat. Breathe in. And as you breathe out, you fold forward. This time you're going to stay forward. Reach your arms out behind you. Press down into your right heel, your front heel. Lift your belly button away from your spine. Now, you could simply stay here, feeling some nice heat in your right thigh, maybe in your right calf as you press down into that right heel. Keep lifting your belly. A little bit more would be to lift your left heel up. You can feel the increase. If you feel like you're ready for a little bit of balance, you could start to rock yourself forward as you inhale, straightening your right leg, coming towards a warrior three. Maybe your hands float. Maybe your fingertips come to the floor, or your hands come to a block. If you can, relax your left hip a little bit. Reach through the crown of your head. Maybe kick through your foot like you're standing now on the wall behind you. Holding your variation for a few breaths. Arms can be wherever you want them to be. Keep lifting the belly. Last breath. And you're going to land if the left leg is lifted, that leg back behind you, kind of that warrior one-esque place. And now everybody bring your hands down to the floor, to the inside of your right foot. Start to walk away from the right foot towards the long edge of your mat. Turn your left foot to face it. Turn your right foot to face it. If your heels are not in a line, step them back. You can adjust the distance between your feet and find your wide-legged forward fold. Great place to place your hands on a block if that feels better. To place your fingertips on the floor. Relax your shoulders. And you're going to take another deep breath or two here. Imagine that you are squeezing your feet a little bit towards one another so you feel your inner thighs start to activate. Press your fingertips to the floor or your hands onto your blocks and start to lift up halfway. From here, we're going to come all the way to standing. You can walk your hands on your thighs. You can bring your hands onto your lower back, or you can bring your arms out to the side. Make sure your back feels comfortable as you lift your core. Lift all the way up to standing. Turn your right foot to face the front of your mat. Keep your right leg a little bit straight. You can have a little softness, and then we're going to come into a triangle. Take your hips a little back towards the back of the room. Reach your right fingertips forward, and then fold down. You could rest your right hand to your thigh, to your calf. You could go to a block. You could come all the way to the floor if that feels comfortable. I think I'm going to use a block this morning. Reach the crown of your head forward. Reach your left fingertips up to the sky if you can. Take a few breaths here. Again, squeezing the feet together. So heel of the front foot squeezes to the back of the mat. Arch of the back foot squeezes towards the front, so the inner thighs are active here. You could stay. If you feel quite frisky and your core feels strong this morning, you can try an extended triangle. Bring your belly button in, reach your right arm out, reach your left arm either overhead or as if you were holding a big beach ball. And you can hold there for a few breaths if that feels good, finding that extended triangle work in the side waists. When you're ready, you're going to inhale and come all the way back up. As you exhale, bend your right knee. You're in warrior two. Look to the back of the room. Turn your right palm up and fold to your reversed warrior. Maybe you like to look towards your left big toe. Maybe you like to look towards the ceiling. Just enjoy the stretch. Inhale to the center. And as you exhale, you're going to windmill all the way back towards the floor, turning to the front of the mat. Turn your back foot to face straight forward and back. My back foot feels really far away, so I like to step it in. And then step back to your downward dog or knees down to table. You could stay right here. You can take your child's pose. Or you can take a half vinyasa, pulling forward to plank, lowering to the floor. You could pick up cobra or up dog or sphinx again. And as you exhale, come back to a base pose, a child, a table, a downward facing dog. Any pose that feels mostly relaxing for a few breaths. If it's active relaxation, like holding a plank or a dog, that's fine. But something that's not making you breathe super hard. Take a few breaths there. Enjoy. From here, We're gonna meet in table or downward facing dog, and we'll bring this home on the other side. From your table or your dog, lift your belly up. Float your left leg behind you as you inhale. And as you exhale, step your left foot behind your left hand. If you're coming with me from the low variation, tuck your back toe, lift your back knee, set your back heel down at that 45-degree angle, and come on up into your warrior one. Take a moment. Reach your fingertips up towards the ceiling. This is your inhale. As you exhale, you hinge at the hips, you fold forward into that lightning warrior, and you stay here. Lift your belly up so that it's not that you're collapsing your upper body onto your leg. Your upper body is supporting itself. But of course, it's leaning forward, so it's applying extra pressure to that lower body, to the leg here. Pressing into the left heel. You can stay right here. Hands behind you, hands to thigh. It's also a great place to use a block or 2 blocks. Or you can add on a little bit. Lifting your right heel up, feeling that increase in work. Maybe feeling a nice little bit of extra heat in your left thigh, in your left calf. Keep lifting your belly. You could stay here. Or you can come even a little more forward, straightening the left leg, getting a little wobbly, coming into your warrior 3. Maybe you like to bring fingertips to the floor or hands to a block here. Feel free to relax your left hip, tucking your left toes down towards the floor. As you do that, lift your belly, reach the crown of your head forwards. This side is quite wobbly. Breathing deeply. Got a few more breaths here. You go where you need to go for this practice today. Where can you feel your breath? You're ready. Drop your right leg behind you. Set the foot down. Bring the hands to the inside of the left foot. You're walking to the long edge of the mat again. Your right foot faces it. Your left foot faces it. You walk your heels into line with one another, and you find your wide-legged forward fold. You can place your hands on the floor or block. You can fold more deeply, looking back behind you. Maybe you like to reach around and hold onto your ankles. Some people like to take their hands behind their back here, interlacing their fingers. Take a few deep breaths. When you are ready, release your hands. Press them down into the floor. Shrug your shoulders back. Your fingers should also be on the block. These are a little bit soft here, so there's some springiness even if your legs are pretty straight. And then you're going to come up to standing, locking the hands on the thighs, hands to the lower back, or arms out to the side. As you inhale, you come all the way up. Turn your left foot to face the front of the room. The knee stays mostly straight. Triangle pose. Arms out to the side as you inhale. Hips bump back as you exhale and you fold. Left hand to thigh, calf. You can go for a block inside or outside, or you can reach down towards your foot or the floor if you feel ready. Reach the crown of your head forward. You want to feel a nice stretch along the top side of your body and feel like you're attempting to lengthen the bottom side of the body. Stuff gets kind of crunchy under there. Shrug your shoulders back. Enjoy a few breaths here, squeezing the feet together. Again, you want to feel your inner thighs becoming active in this position. I like to lift my toes here. I feel like it's easier to activate my thighs in that position. If you feel like you want a little bit more, you could go for that extended triangle. See if you can lift your left arm up, even if it's only for a breath. Maybe you squeeze that imaginary beach ball and you really feel the sides of your torso working. Feel your belly button working. Feel your hips working. This is quite a lot of work for your core, so stay for a few breaths if it feels good. You can be looking forward, you can be looking upwards, so to be honest, that feels slightly awkward. Down feels pretty nice. Inhale. And as you exhale, you're going to release the hand. Come all the way back up, arms parallel to the earth. Bend the left knee, warrior 2. Turn to look to the back of the room. Your right hand is facing down. You flip your left palm up and you fold backwards. Reversing your warrior, relaxing your shoulders. Gaze could be up or down. Just enjoy that stretch now. Relax your shoulders. Inhale, come back to the center line. And then as you exhale, you windmill that back arm all the way forward. You rotate forward, turn your back foot forward and back. My foot always feels really far away, so I like to step it in. Hands under the shoulders, step back, table or downward facing dog. You could rest for a few breaths here. Or you could take your half vinyasa if you feel frisky, plank, push up, back bend of your choice. And we'll all meet in the next breath or two in our table or our downward dog. From your table or your dog, you're going to inhale forward to your plank. And as you exhale, just lower yourself all the way onto the floor. Untuck your toes. You're going to reach your arms back. And here you could be reaching your hands by your thighs, or you can take your hands, you can interlace them. We're just going to work a little bit up into the shoulders now. Press the tops of your feet into the floor. This is a half locust pose. Roll your shoulders back. Press down through the tops of your feet as you lift your belly away from the floor. Lift your shoulders a little bit up and back. Holding here. Be mindful that the back of your neck is long, so you don't have to look straight forward. You're looking more down towards the floor here. Keep trying to press the tops of your feet down. Lift your belly and feel that space between your shoulder blades decreasing. They're squeezing together on the back. Inhale here. And as you exhale, release. Take a moment to rest, maybe turning your head to one side. And then we'll do that again. Gaze comes to the floor. Hands could be by the thighs. You could interlace the fingers again. You can do exactly the same one, or you can do full locust, now lifting your feet as you inhale. Shoulders roll back, chest lifts. Maybe the feet float here as well. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. If you've lifted your feet, squeeze your heels a little bit towards one another so you feel the whole back of your body starting to work. Keep lifting your belly button away from the floor, even though it is precipitously at this point probably pressing into the mat. One more breath. And then release. Maybe rest your head to the other side. When you're ready, turn your gaze back to the mat. Now bring your elbows underneath your shoulders. Coming into your Sphinx pose. You could have the palms of your hands flat on the floor. You can press the palms of your hands towards one another. Shrug your shoulders back. Lift the center of your chest. And just like we were doing earlier, fill your belly with breath. Fill your chest with breath. Expand your shoulders as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, just soften into this a little bit. Keep pressing the tops of your feet down to the floor. My pinky toes are not super great at touching. It's fine if yours aren't either. But some part of the top of your foot, if possible, is working to touch the floor. If you need to tuck your toes for comfort in your kneecaps, just push back a little bit through the arches of your feet so you're keeping that activity going. One more deep breath. Inhale here. And then as you exhale, release. Your choice what to do for the next few breaths. You could rest on your belly. You could spend a few breaths in your child's pose. You could hold your downward facing dog or your plank pose. If you feel frisky, you could add in one more half vinyasa or a couple of push-ups to finish off the active part of our practice. We have just one more kind of muscular challenge to do after this, and then it's going to be all sweetness. When you're ready, come to your table or your downward facing dog. Walk or step your way up to the front of the mat. Inhale, find halfway lift. As you exhale, you're going to stay folded forward. Feet are hip distance apart. Knees are quite soft. You could place your hands, I find this very helpful, hands on a block here, but you can also do this with hands on the floor. Reach the crown of your head forward. You want to think about creating kind of like a standing table. So there's lots of space. You can lengthen your head forward so your block or your hands are kind of more underneath your shoulders. And then Stick your buns back behind you. We're going to do our side leg lifts, but now perhaps with the right leg straight. So as you inhale, see if you can just lift that right leg up and out to the side. Tuck your left hip in. And as you exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift out to the side. Exhale, lower down. Just 3 more. Do the best you can. If you only do 1, that's fantastic. 1 more on this side. Hug your belly button in, hug your left hip in. And then place that right foot on the floor, soften the knees, maybe wiggle around a little bit before you go to the other side. And when you're ready, I think I might have to scoot a little bit here. I'm going to hit the wall. You're going to lift your left leg out to the side. Inhale. Exhale, lower down. Inhale to lift. Exhale to soften. 3 more. If you can, do as many as you can. You're probably really feeling, oh, I know I am, my right outer hip at this point, and the left inner thigh. Keep the knees a little soft. Maybe you've got 1 more. Soften the knees. Find your forward fold. Let it all go. Nod your head, yes, that was hard. Or shake it, no. I could do that all day. And then as you inhale, pick up a little bit of a halfway lift again. Take your feet a little wider than your own hips, toes out, heels in, and find a squat, bending the knees. And again, any level of squat, you could be taking a horse squat. So hands on the thighs, butt a little out behind you, belly engaged. You could be taking the spider squat, fingertips to the floor, hands to a block, buttons out behind you. You could be taking your malasana squat, dropping your hips towards the floor, bringing them perhaps in between the heels, hands to the heart. Take a few deep breaths here. When you're ready, release yourself to seated. If it works for your hips and your ankles, you can simply sit back. If that doesn't work, you can come over to the side or make your way to the floor in any way that works for your body. Once you are on the mat, make sure you're sitting right in the center. Place the soles of the feet on the floor. Hands come behind the thighs, lift the center of the chest. Inhale. And as you exhale, 1 more time, roll gently to the mat. You can bring your knees with you if that feels good. Hug the knees into the chest. Rock a little from right to left. And then relax the soles of the feet down to the floor. Bring the arms out to the sides. We're going to take a lazy bridge pose. So this bridge pose isn't really about activating the glutes or activating the core so much as it is just kind of lifting the hips up and stretching the front of the body. So you don't have to lift terribly high. You can press into your hands as much as you want to support you. Inhale, relax your shoulders and your belly. And then as you exhale, pull your belly button towards the floor, press a little into your heels, and just lift your hips up. And it's gentle. And you could decide to stay right here and just hold the bridge for a few breaths. Or you could join me in a few pulses. Exhaling to lower down. Inhaling to lift up. If you're pulsing, you could add some arms to your pulse. As you inhale, you press your low back into the floor, you lift up. You could bring your arms up over your head if that feels nice. So you could stay there, or you could lower the hands and lower the hips. A few more pulses, a few more breaths, holding either position, arms up, arms down. You could be just resting at this point. Maybe 1 more deep breath, moving or still, before bringing those hips to the floor. Relax the belly. Take a moment to bring your feet a little wider than your hips and let your knees knock in towards one another for constructive rest pose. Just feel that lovely space in your lower back. And letting the knees point straight up again. Hug your right knee in towards your chest. And then cross your right ankle over the top of your left knee. So you're in this reclined pigeon pose. You can stay right here in reclined pigeon pose, or you could draw your left knee in towards you and hold behind your left thigh. You can move around a little here, stretching the outer hip. For those of you with other variations of pigeon in your practice, you are more than welcome to take any variation of pigeon here. Extend the leg. I'm quite partial to extending my left leg up and just rolling the ankle out a little bit. As you're ready, you can trade sides, strapping the left foot to the floor, uncrossing the right ankle. Left ankle crosses over. And if your hips are on the tighter side, just this can feel like plenty. If you need a little more, you can bring the left knee into the chest. You can flex and point your toes, rock a little bit. Maybe extend the right leg, move the ankle. And releasing from this side, uncrossing the legs. Bring the soles of the feet to the floor. Take your knees a little bit wider again than the distance of your own hips. You can take your arms out to the side. And then just sway the knees a little from right to left, like little windshield wipers. The next time that the knees are over to the right, you might leave them there. And that might feel quite nice. Or you might decide to take the right ankle and place it over the top of the left outer thigh, knee area. Make sure that if you do that, there's no discomfort in your groin or your hip, just a deepening of the stretch. If that doesn't work, you are welcome to come into any variation of the stretch, of the twist. Knees could be stacked, one on top of the other. One leg could be long and the other bent. It's not really important what it looks like. It's just important that you feel some release in your core and your hips. You can look to left to feel more into your shoulders. That's head looks to the left to feel more in the shoulders. And when you're ready, you can come over to the other side, taking the knees to the left. And you could do the stacking of the left ankle on top of the right outer knee, or not. It might be the same on this side. It might be quite different in what feels good. And in this point in the practice especially, it really is just about what feels good. What feels soothing and relaxing. Ready. Bring the knees back to the center line. From here, you might feel perfectly ready to extend your legs and your arms long towards Shavasana. If there happens to be another pose or shape that your body would like, you are more than welcome to take that now. You're also welcome to Shavasana in any position that feels nice for your body. Feel free to take your legs up the wall, to place a block under your hips, or a pillow or a bolster underneath your knees. All that's important is that you find a place where you can relax. As you find that relaxing place, perhaps again bringing a hand to the belly and a hand to the heart. Feel as you inhale the movement of the core the movement of the heart. And feel as you exhale all of that activity, all of the work that we have done being let go. Feel your shoulders relax, your jaw soften. Release your belly. Allow your arms and your legs to become pleasantly heavy. Enjoying your well-earned rest. If you have the time this morning, I encourage you to stay and linger in your Shavasana for as long as you are able. Another 5 or 10 minutes would be absolutely wonderful for your body. I'm going to sign off now, so if you'd like to join me in finishing class now, you can wiggle your fingers and toes. You can blink your eyes and turn your head from side to side. When you're ready, rolling all the way over to one side for a few breaths. Or making your way to a comfortable seat. As you arrive there, a hand to the heart, a hand to the belly. And we'll close as usual with our deep breath together on 3. 1, 2, 3. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. I hope you have a wonderful Sunday. I hope to see you again. Live classes this week, 5:30 p.m. Monday and Wednesday, and special restorative class, 7:30 p.m. on Wednesday night. Friday at 10 a.m. and I will be doing an Easter Sunday class at 10 a.m. with a special Eastery theme, so I hope to see you soon. Thank you so much.